Hi guys, assalamu alaikum. It's 2021. Welcome to the first official video of 2021. So we're doing ultimate vanilla cupcakes today.
I really need you to hear what I'm saying.
And I'm giving you my secret vanilla cake recipe. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so we preheat our oven first. We're going to do it at 170, no fan or gas mark 3. If you have a fan oven, then you want to heat it to 150 fan. So let's preheat our oven, and then we'll start off with the batter. So yourself a bowl, get a scale, also need a sieve. Then put your scale on, make sure your scale is on 0. 225 grams of self-raising flour. Then you want to sift that in. Then you just want to put your scale back on 0, and we're going to weigh out our sugar into the same bowl. And you want 200 grams of sugar. Slowly add it in until you reach 200 grams. Then also directly into this, we're going to put our margarine in. Okay, so put your scale on 0. You can use any kind of margarine. So 115 grams of your margarine. Okay, so just weigh it in. Right, so this is where the method is a little bit different, and we're going to crumb this together. So we're going to basically mix it with the mixer until it forms a breadcrumb like consistency. Okay, so we're not using the normal method of where you cream your butter and your sugar together. This is a different method of mixing your cake batter. Okay, get your mixer on and just basically mix it until it forms like a breadcrumb kind of texture and everything's combined. Okay, that's it. So literally just a few seconds until it forms this breadcrumb kind of texture. Now we go in with our eggs. So we need 3 medium eggs, and we're gonna just add them all in at one time. So just crack them in. 3 medium eggs go straight in there. There we go. So a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract in with your eggs as well. Also, at this point, we're going to add in our baking powder. A teaspoon of baking powder, just to give it that extra oomph. It's roughly about 5 grams, okay, of baking powder that you need. So 1 level teaspoon. You've got all that in. You need to give it a mix until it's nice and smooth. Don't over mix it though, okay, just until it's all combined and smooth. So what I'm going to do is scrape down the bowl at this point. So let's scrape down the sides of the bowl. So get your scale back, and then you want to put something to measure out your milk in. So let's put that on there. Put your scale back on 0. 100 milliliters or 100 grams of milk. They both weigh the same. So milk goes in. So it's very important not to over mix at this point, okay? So the milk goes in, and we just mix it basically then until it's all combined, and that's our cake batter done, okay? Very important not to over mix your flour. So let's go. There we go, it's nice and smooth. I like to give the final few mixes by hand. The milk and the moisture of this batter is what makes your cupcakes quite moist. So I like to just do the final few folds by hand, just to make sure that I've got no flour left at the bottom. And that is basically our cake batter ready for our vanilla cupcakes. So you want to get yourself a muffin tin, a cupcake tin. It's very important to have one of these when you're making cupcakes, because they just stop your cupcake liners from spreading out, and they hold that cup shape, okay? So you've got 1 case in each, and I like to use muffin cases rather than cupcake cases. I feel they're a nicer size in comparison to your regular cupcake cases, and they fit better in the cupcake boxes as well. Once you've put your liners in your tray, you're going to fill each cupcake case about halfway full, okay? Don't overfill it, because these are going to rise quite a bit, so you want the cupcake to rise to the top of your liner, okay? So you want to fill it just above halfway. So this batter is quite runny, so if you wanted to, you could probably pour it into a jug to distribute it like that. You could use an ice cream scoop, which is what I normally use, or you can use 2 spoons. Because it is a runny batter, just be careful, because it can be a bit messy when you're kind of distributing it, okay? So this is the consistency. It's a little bit runny than a regular cake batter. Medium-sized ice cream scoop, and I normally do 2 of these per case. So 2 full ones per case, so that's the exact amount that I know that I need in each one. And now we're going to bake them in the oven for between 18 and 20 minutes, okay? So they shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes. If you bake them longer than 20 minutes, they'll probably be overbaked. So, and you'll end up with a really dry cupcake. Bismillah, here we go. In the oven. So after 18 minutes are up, your cupcake should come out of the oven looking like this. So I'm going to leave this on the cooling rack as it is, let it cool for 5 minutes, and then take them out of the tray and put them directly onto the cooling rack like that. So for frosting, I have 3 words for you: Swiss, meringue, buttercream. Honestly, it's the best buttercream out there. Way better than regular American English buttercream, and I much prefer it. It's so much less sweeter and the texture is so much nicer. It doesn't feel gritty on your teeth, it doesn't stick to your teeth. It's just so much more better than regular buttercream. So that is what I like to use for my cupcakes, and that is what I'm going to teach you how to make. So you need a large bowl for your egg whites, you need a small bowl for your egg yolks, so we're using 3 egg whites. Just make sure that you don't get any yolk in there, because we're going to make a kind of a meringue. Okay, so it's called Swiss meringue buttercream. So to that, we're going to add our sugar. So we need 200 grams of sugar then. Press 0. Weigh our sugar directly in with our egg whites. So 200 grams, just regular granulated sugar. So we're going to add in our butter. Add 250 grams of unsalted butter. So just add it into small cubes. You need to make sure that the bowl that you crack your egg whites in is a heat-proof bowl, because what you're going to do is make a bain-marie. So we're going to put some water in our saucepan. Roughly about 1 inch of water. You don't want the bottom of the bowl touching the water. Okay, it's very important. Let's bring the water to the boil. So you want to get yourself a whisk. So that's come to a boil. I'm going to turn it down to so it's simmering constantly. Then I'm going to put the bowl on top of our, just like that, so it'll make steam underneath. I'm just going to whisk it basically now until all the sugar has dissolved. And the way that you check if all the sugar is dissolved is basically get some of the mixture, you rub it between your 2 fingers like this. If it feels grainy, that means it's not completely dissolved. But once it stops feeling grainy, that means it is completely dissolved. There we go. I can't feel any more grains, so that's done. We'll take that off the heat now. Don't burn yourself. Take it off the heat. It's usually an electric mixer. You can't really do this by hand because it takes quite a while. It'll probably take up to about 10 minutes. So you just basically want to whisk it until the meringue stiffens and the bowl cools down, okay? If you add the butter in while it's too warm, then the butter's just going to go sloppy and your buttercream is just going to turn into a big sloppy mess, okay? So that's not what you want. Okay, so this is ready. As you can see, the meringue has reached like a really stiff peak. Okay, and the bowl is completely cool. So that took about 7 minutes. Now what we do is we add in the butter piece by piece that we prepared earlier, and add it in until we've added in all the butter basically, while we're constantly mixing. So what we like to do is keep the bowl of butter near us, tea towel underneath it to stop it from rotating whilst we're adding the butter in, okay? And that will hopefully stop the bowl from rotating. Let's go. Don't add too much butter in one bowl, okay? Add it in piece by piece, let it mix in, then add the next piece. Okay, so I've almost added all my butter in, and as you can see, it just looks like a sloppy mess. So you must think, oh my god, how on earth is that buttercream, and how am I going to pipe that? But trust the process. Honestly, it's as if by magic. You continue whipping and this turns into the most fluffiest buttercream ever. So at this point, I'm just going to give the bowl a bit of a clean. Scrape it down. Watch it transform. It'll come to a point where it will look like it's curdled. And then after that, it's just going to turn into this really fluffy, amazing buttercream. It's going to go into the curdle, and then it's going to turn into a fluffy buttercream. So keep mixing it. Right, so that's done. So at this point, I'm going to flavour it with some vanilla extract, using vanilla bean paste because I really like the taste of it, but you will be able to see specks. So if you don't want to see the vanilla specks, then use just normal vanilla extract, okay? And you need a teaspoon of vanilla extract in your buttercream to flavour it. Now you can flavour it and colour it with any flavour and colour that you like, any kind of extract flavour, a teaspoon of it, or you can add some gel food colouring to colour it as well. So I'm going to show you how to make this like a whiter texture, because as you can see it's like an off-white at the moment because of the butter. So what you need to do is get yourself some purple. So you add the tiniest bit of purple because on the opposite side of the colour wheel to basically turn this into a true white colour, okay? So an absolutely tiny little dot you just want, because obviously otherwise it's going to colour it purple, okay? We just want a tiny little dot of purple. Tiny little bit of purple will cut off and get rid of all the yellow, and it will make it white. Off-white colour before, and the purple helped it go white. I don't know if you can see this light properly because it is like a yellow light, but basically it's made it go like a proper white colour, okay? So now we have white Swiss meringue buttercream. So I'm just getting rid of some of the air bubbles in there because it's quite a lot, because when you pipe it you don't want air bubbles because that will obviously not pipe smooth then if it's got too many air bubbles in there. So I'm just basically just smoothing out the air bubbles with my spatula. So once your buttercream is ready and your cupcakes are cooled, it's time to pipe them onto your cupcakes. Right, piping your cupcakes. Now, once your cupcakes are completely cooled, it's very important that they're completely cooled before you pipe anything onto there. You want to get yourself a star tip. So I like to use a 1M nozzle. I'm going to show you how to pipe with this. I'm going to do just a normal swirl. Okay, and I might show you a few techniques of how to pipe, or might just do that in a separate video. What you want to do is put your nozzle in there and then see where you need to cut your bag. So push the nozzle back. I'm going to cut the bag enough so that just the tip of your nozzle is sticking out, okay? So no more than that, just that much, just the pattern. Because if you cut too much and too much of your nozzle is sticking out, when you apply pressure on your bag, your nozzle just comes flying out, and you don't want that, okay? Add your buttercream into your piping bag. Your buttercream, okay, all the way to the end. Okay. And squeeze out any air that you might see in there, and make sure that it's no air in there, okay? Then allow it to come to the end of your nozzle. Okay, so to pipe your classic swirl, you want to start on the edge of your cupcake and then work your way towards the middle, okay? So keep it upright and apply pressure as you're moving your nozzle around, okay? So apply pressure continuously. And the way this buttercream pipes is beautiful as well. Nice and gorgeous lines. Okay, you've got a classic swirl there. Alternatively, you could do so you can use the same tip, or you can use a closed tip, a 2D size tip to do this. So you start in the middle, and this is like a rose swirl. So you start in the middle, apply pressure, and then go anti-clockwise around. I'm still using the same tip, so you can use this tip as well. And then pull off at the end, sorry. And then you get this kind of rose swirl pattern on your cupcake. So that's an alternative way to pipe your buttercream. Those are your vanilla cupcakes, guys. Okay, so we piped them in two ways. We did a rosette and we did a classic swirl. You can also fill these as well. Okay, you can make a hole in the middle, fill it with some kind of jam or whatever you want, lemon curd, cut into it. Okay, this is the best and fluffiest cupcake that you'll ever have. Look at the texture of that cupcake. But look at that, guys. That is so soft and so delicious. Let's take a bite. wanted to, you could also top your cupcake with fresh double cream. So double cream with some icing sugar and vanilla, and you can use that as a frosting instead, and that tastes absolutely amazing on these vanilla cupcakes. I hope you enjoyed that video. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.